starry flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Hey, it's me, and welcome to this video. Now, Bannon is obviously a Trojan horse working for the feds, in my opinion. And it is just my opinion, my 2 cents, right? So maybe I'm wrong. I don't really care. But normally, I am like, don't trust anyone, judge by actions. And so if somebody's saying the right things and doing the right things, normally, it's all good, right? You don't mess with people that are saying the right things. But there's something about Bannon that is a little bit on the nose. You know, it's almost like if you are the feds and you want to have you see an undercover person in some group, you're going to pick a person that knows just what to say. You know, the lingo, the behaviors, everything should be so that you don't arouse any suspicions, right? And just to give an example, Donnie Brasco, you know, because of the movie, more people know about that story. It was very successful because the police officer was a person that could come across as believable, saying the right things, behaving in the right way, and he fooled a lot of people, right? So much so that he was almost made in the mafia and the Bannon family. That's incredible, you know, years and years undercover, and the intel he was able to provide to the feds was so great that the Bannon family was actually ostracized for a long time by the other families, and they recovered, obviously, but it was a big hit. Now, the reason I'm saying that he's a Fed, it's because, you know, he's being protected. It's very obvious to me that he's being protected. And, you know, if you're the feds, you want somebody inside of the White House. Bannon at the moment is campaigning to be in the Trump campaign and obviously wanting to be in a Trump White House. Now, the first time in 2017, he was kind of in the West Wing, not really having a real job. He was kind of like a super intern. And he was very upset about that. But that's because President Trump knew not to trust this guy, not having him come in the right meetings, because, you know, he could have been undercover at that time, and I believe that he was. And he has always been working for the feds, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Now, saying the right things, you know, can fool a lot of people. Like Ann Coulter at some point was saying all the right things about Trump, right? And then later you find out, oh my God, this is a Democrat. This is a Mitt Romney shill. I mean, this person is like a complete loser. Same with Matt Drudge, for years, fooling everybody, right? Oh, this guy is like a real conservative. I never thought so, but many people did. And the same goes for many other players that have long since been exposed. Now, Bannon exposed himself in 2017 and 2018 and beyond. He was saying things like Michael Avenatti was the biggest threat for Trump in 2020, that President Trump had dementia, that he had to wet nurse President Trump. Like, he was telling people all over Europe that he was the brain and Trump was a puppet. Yeah, what a clown. And he thought he was bigger than Trump, and it turned out not to be so. So later on, of course, he hitched his ride to President Trump again, because that's his bread and butter, right? He's never really accepted by other conservatives. He's never really accepted by the left. He's kind of out there like a gypsy, right? But he's useful to the feds because, you know, if you kind of come out and you act like you're hardcore and you're saying, oh, we're going to arrest everybody, we're going to roll up the whole system, and, you know, we're going to break it all down, and of course you get a lot of support. And I've said that the app that they created, Bannon and his concubine, Grace Chong, it collects the data of the most hardcore conservatives, you could say, or people that are against the system. And all you have to do is just hand that data over to the feds. And they have like the most gung-ho people in their file, right? So if anything ever happens in November, for example, who are the first people that they'll be checking out? It's all those people that signed up for the Bourbon Bannon app, the posse, right? But it's not just that. If Bourbon Bannon ends up in the Trump campaign or in the White House, you have an insider, right? And the first time President Trump didn't trust Bourbon Bannon, and he was leaking from the White House, and it was found out. Bourbon Bannon also said Don Jr. committed treason by meeting with some people in Trump Tower. And recently he's been promoting RFK Jr. for months and months to be Trump's running mate, saying that they would win in a massive landslide. What a joke. So much so that President Trump had to come out many times already bashing RFK Jr., even just now with 3 separate posts on Truth Social. And that is because of this Trojan horse, Bourbon Bannon, pushing RFK Jr. for so many months, that some people started to think, hey, maybe Trump really wants RFK Jr. But no, it was Bourbon Bannon, in fact, going to RFK Jr. and begging for his help for some reason, saying he was an emissary from President Trump. And of course he's not. He's just doing it on his own. These people like Bourbon Bannon and his concubine, Grace Chung, they think they're the MAGA shot callers. When you see them out there talking and in interviews on the War Room, you really believe like they're the headquarters for MAGA. I mean, that's what they want people to believe, but it's not so. It's not so. And so President Trump, he wants everybody on board, meaning he's not going to be bashing anybody in the media except for those that are ready for Biden. But I mean, on our side, you want everybody to kind of work against Biden or against the left. And so even if Bourbon Bannon's a Trojan horse, you can still use a Trojan horse, right? So coming back to like a Donnie Brasco example, it's like an example easy to understand, right? Donnie Brasco actually did many things for the Banano family that were helpful for the mafia. So he's an undercover, but at the same time, he's really helping them out. And so that's why he gained a lot of trust. And at the same time, you have to understand that sometimes undercover people become part of the inside, right? So I don't know how much of a Fed plant that Bourbon Bannon really is, or if he's a part-time informer, or if he's all in, right? Because you notice the War Room is not being canceled. They have ads from Google and Amazon and all the big tech companies and everything, that you kind of wonder how come all of those same corporations are banning Trump content on Twitter or elsewhere, but for the War Room they're all in. And it's kind of the same talk, right? So why is that? It's almost like the left or the corporations or the deep state are helping the War Room somehow on the down low. Did you ever think about that? It's pretty weird. Also, all of these politicians going on the War Room, it's kind of like a mistake. Like I said, if people are heard, that's the important thing, right? It doesn't harm anyone. But I'm saying all of this is a setup to be as believable as possible, to get an in, to be on the inside of the Trump campaign and possibly the Trump White House, to then do the damage from within. Yeah, like a Trojan horse. So you're not going to put out a Trojan horse where on the outside it says, hey, I'm full of soldiers, right? You reel me into your city, we're going to come out and kill all of you and open the gates. No, it's just a Trojan horse, right? You don't really know until you know, and then it's too late. So what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure, and because President Trump already didn't trust Bourbon Bannon in 2017, even though he brought Bourbon Bannon in the White House, he never gave Bourbon Bannon any real intel. And at the time, in fact, Bourbon Bannon was begging Trump not to fire James Comey. You get that? And President Trump, of course, to this day, keeps saying that was like his best decision ever, is to get rid of James Comey, because otherwise there would have been a coup. He would have been removed. So he fired James Comey. But it was Bourbon Bannon out there saying, don't fire him, don't fire him. Interesting, right? Well, that's a tell. And so this RFK Jr. thing is another tell. You know, for me, it's all pretty obvious. And other people are led by the nose, right? Somebody says the right thing. Oh, wow, this person is really pro-Trump and all of that. But you don't know until you know. And you've seen that in the past. And, you know, you've got burned many times on some of the people that you trusted. So I'm just saying, look, there's no way I could ever trust Bourbon Bannon. I'm okay if he's out there saying good things and exposing the left and exposing Biden. It's all good. But I'm saying, don't give this guy any power in the Trump campaign or the Trump White House. Never. Like, never. You know? Like, never. Ever.